My dear student, welcome to my online class. Hope you are well by the grace of Almighty. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 7, Different People, Different Occupation. After we have finished this lesson, we will be able to read and understand the text through silent reading. Listen for information, ask and answer the question, write down the main ideas in our own words. Lesson 1, Pulse, Pulse and Pulse. Now jump into the vocabulary first. Mythology, meaning folklore, a collection of myths, especially one belonging to a particular religious or cultural tradition, a legend. Ancient, meaning very old, early, primitive, primeval. Dissolve, meaning become or cause to become, incorporate into a liquid so as to form a solution or disappear. Status, level, place, position, estimation. Unparalleled, meaning exceptional, unique, incomparable, unexampled. Association, meaning a group of people organized for a joint purpose, alliance, coalition, union, league, and organization. Delicate, very fine in a texture or a structure. Exquisite, easily broken, fragile. Let's jump into the vocabulary first. Rare, meaning unusual, not occurring very often. Unfamiliar, uncommon, few and far between, not found in a large number. Singular, infrequent. Descend, meaning move or fall downward, go down, come down. Hazardous, meaning risky, dangerous, unsafe, precarious. Rely, meaning depend on with full trust or confidence. Now read out the text. Thousands of years ago, that means thousands of years before, the first pearls were probably discovered while human beings were searching for food at the seashore. First pearls, that means pearls means a small round object, usually white, that forms around a grain of sand inside the shell of sea creature, especially a oyster. Pearls are valuable, are used to make a jewelry, and probably means very rightly, discovered means find unexpectedly during a search, come across, come upon. That means found unexpectedly during a search while human beings were searching for food at the seashore. While human beings, search means try to find something by looking, hunt, look or explore. At the time of searching food or hunting food at the seashore, seashore means land along the edge of sea or lake or other large body of water. We can say beach or a coast. The first pearls were probably very likely found while human beings were trying to find food at the sea beach. Throughout the history, the pearl with its shine has been one of the most highly valued gems. Throughout the history, the whole history, the pearls with its shine, with its glow, shine means glow, beam or radiant, has been one of the most highly, this is a superlative form, highly means very, extremely and mostly valued means precious, costly and expensive. Some means a precious or semi-precious stone, especially when cut and polished or engraved. Throughout the history means whole history falls with its glow, a radiant or a beam, has been one of the most precious gems. Pearls have been mentioned many times in the religious texts, mythologies from the earliest time. Pearls have been mentioned. Mention means allude to or refer to, and many times, a lot of times, in a religious text, in religion books, and mythologies. Mythologies means folklore, a collection of myths, especially one belonging to particular religious and cultural tradition and legend. From the earliest time, in the past time, false has been alluded or referred to in a lot of time in the religious books and mythology from in the past. The ancient Egyptians, the ancient means very old, early and primitive and primeval. Egyptian believed means assessed, evaluated and estimated the pearls so much, very much, they were buried with them and they were entombed with the pearls. And it is said that there is a proverb that famous queen of Egypt Cleopatra would dissolve the pearls in a glass and drink it as a sign of love and respect for the entire nation. The famous queen, the prominent but renowned queen of Egypt, named Cleopatra, would dissolve. Dissolve means become or cause to become, to incorporate into a liquid or so as to form a solution. The famous, renowned, and prominent queen of Egyptian Cleopatra would disappear a pearls in a glass and drink it and take it as a sign of love, as a sign of tenderness and fondness, and respect means dignity for the entire nation. She thought that if she could take a glass of water with a pearls, and she will represent as a dignity nation, also sign of a love. The Greek thought the pearls is a sign of wealth and social position. According to the Greek thought, they think that false is a sign of wealth. The person who belongs and possesses the more pearls, and he will be or she will be the wealthy person. And social position and social status also. The beauty of the pearls were associated with the love and the marriage. The beauty of the pearls was associated with the link or connected or related or affiliated with the love. Love means fondness or tenderness, and marriage means wedding, nuptial, and matrimonial. The beauty of the pearls were linked with the tenderness and fondness and wedding. In ancient Rome, pearls were considered the greatest sign of wealth and social status. And in ancient means very old, early and primitive and primeval. Pearls were considered, were thought about. Consider means having been thought about carefully, the greatest sign. Sign means token of wealth and social status. That means the person who belongs or possesses more pearls, and they will be seen as a wealthy person, and they possess the very high position in a society. At that time means, and then the young women of noble families. The young women, young means youthful and teenage women of noble families, great families. They liked to wear means put on the beautiful false necklace. Beautiful means attractive and good looking false necklace. Necklace means an ornament chain or a string of beads or jewels linked on around the neck, and that we can say the chain. The teenage women of great families like to put on the beautiful, attractive false chain around their neck. The brave knight used to wear them in a battle for good luck. The brave knight, brave means courageous or fearless or valiant. Knight means a man rise by a sovereign to honorable military rank after service as a face and a square. That means a soldier which has given a designation as the knight for their bravery or courage. And used to means repeated action or to be a state or situation. Wear means put on them in a battle, in the battlefield, in the conflict, contest, and a struggle for their battle love, for their good wishes.
Lesson 2, the Armadillos. Read the text and answer the following question. Before the beginning of 20th century, pearls were obtained from far west. Before the beginning of 20th century. Before means ahead, back or previously. This indicate to the past. The beginning means an act or circumstance of entering of an an action or a state, are often the starting point introductions of the 20th century. Century means a period of 100 years. At the starting point of the 20th century, the falls were obtained from Fall Vista. Falls. Falls means a small round object, easily white, that forms around a grain of sand inside the shell of sea crater, special and west. Were obtained. Obtain means to come into possession of something. Gain, retain, receive. From Fall Vista. Vista means a large flat sea creature that lives in a shell. These vesta were collected from the bottom of the ocean, lake or rivers. These type of vestas were collected, were gathered from the bottom. Bottom means ground of the oceans, lake or rivers. To get enough false vesta, to crave, to gain enough means sufficient fall vesta. Free divers, free means independent divers, were often forced to descend to the depth of more than 100 feet in one breath. Free divers means independent divers were frequently forced means to compel to descend to the depth of more than 100 feet. Descend means move or fall downward, go down and come down to the depth. Depth means the distance from the top or surface to the bottom of something of more than 100 feet in one breath. Continuing the one breath, the free independent diver were frequently compelled to go downward more than the 100 feet under the water. Because of the difficulty of the diving, because of means in case of the difficulty. Difficulty means the fact of not being easy to do, of diving, falls at that time, then were of different qualities. We found different types of falls as well as very rare. Rare means not common or unusual. In Asia, some false vesta could be found on the shores at the depth of the 5 to 7 feet from the surface. In Asia, some and few false vesta could be found on shoals. Shoals means a place where sea or river or the body of water is the shoal. That means not depth. The depth of the water body was 5 to 7 feet from the surface. Surface means the outside of an object or a ground. At times the divers, the person who dive, had to go 40 feet or even up to 120 feet. They have to go to the 40 feet or even up to the 120 feet deep to find the false vesta, to charge the false vesta. These deep divers were extremely hazardous to the diver. The deep dives go to the under 40 or 120 feet under the waters were extremely means very severely, acutely or intensely. Hazardous means risky, dangerous, unsafe or precarious to the divers. This type of divings go to the underwater 40 to 125 feet were very acutely or extremely dangerous or risky to the divers, those who dives under the water. Now answer the following question. Question number 1. What is the text about? Question number 2. What did the people get the falls from? Now read about the divers of Japan and answer the following question. In some fishing blaze along the coast of Japan. In some fishing blaze means in the blaze where the people catch the fish. And along the coast of Japan, adjacent to the coast of Japan, and there are amazing group of women known as Amadivers. Amazing means extremely surprising, awesome, or incredible. Group of women known the familiar as Amadivers. These women, those who work as Amadivers, work to do their special tasks. They still working as They are doing their work as armor. The word armor means omen of sea or sea omen. They are related to the sea, and that is why they are called omen of sea or sea omen. They are independent divers. They are free divers. They are not engaged with anyone. They are not doing the works permanently. They make their living by diving. They earn their livelihood by diving. They can dive to the depth of the sea up to 25 meters. They can dive and they can go to the under the water to depth means the distance from surface to the ground of sea up to the 25 meters. That means up to the approximately 80 feet. And they dive without using oxygen tanks and other breathing equipment. And they can go to the under the water without taking any oxygen tanks or other breathing equipments. Equipment means the necessary items for a particular purpose, tools or instrument. The armor divers rely on their own skills or breathing techniques. The armor divers, those who work as divers, rely on, they totally depend on their own skill, own tactics, and breathing techniques. And what do you mean by the technique? A way of doing something by using a special knowledge or a skill. They use that skill and technique to force themselves down to the bottom of the sea and back to the surface again. And they use, that means they utilize that skill and techniques to force. Push means to use a physical pressure or force, and especially with your hands, in order to move something into a different position or drop down to bottom of the sea and back to the surface again. They use their physical pressure, go to the bottoms and return back to the surface. They can hold their breathing from up to the 2 minutes. They continue their breath up to 2 minutes. And careful watching, lungs capacity, and hunting instinct are the special qualities of hammer divers. And the special qualities of hammer divers, they can careful watching under the waters, and their lungs capacity is very high, and hunting instincts, they can catch anything under the water very easily. That is their special quality. However, nonetheless, some of these young players are going to the city for their for other jobs. Now, at present, some of the young players are going to city for searching jobs. The remaining Armor divers are now aged between the 50 and 60. Those who are working as Armor divers, they are aged between the 50 and 60. But there is still some who continue to dive even at their age 70s. There are some of them continuing his professions even after 70 plus. And if the young people do not take up Armor diving, if the young people do not source or select AMA as a profession, so soon this profession, and immediately these professions will die out. This profession will be demolished. Now answer the following question. Question number 1. Why are the AMA diving amazing? Question number 2. How deep can the AMA divers go down into the sea? Question number 3. What techniques and skill do the AMA divers use in diving? Question number 4. Why do you think the young bladers are going to the city? Your homework is write a paragraphs on AMA divers. Be shiny as the fall. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you.